Thank you all for listening. I never imagined one ordinary day could shatter everything I believed about my life. My name is Logan, and for 14 years, I truly thought things were normal, good, even. My wife, Marble, seemed like everything I'd ever wanted. She was funny, gorgeous, nurturing. Her laugh had this way of softening even the roughest days. I worked in tech, held a steady job, and while our life wasn't perfect, it felt like ours. At least, that's what I believed. Everything changed when our son, Finley, was around 5. I remember the morning clearly because it felt so ordinary at first. Marble was oddly silent, refusing to meet my eyes as she sipped her coffee. Finley was in the kitchen, excitedly talking about a school project, completely unaware of the tension simmering nearby. I brushed it off. Everyone is off days. But the way Marble stiffened whenever I got near her, something about it unsettled me. A week later, the call came. The pediatrician said they needed a paternity test. Just routine, he claimed. My stomach nodded before he even explained. Routine? For what? When Marble handed me the paperwork, her hands were trembling. She couldn't even look at me. That's when the dread set in. Something wasn't right. The results arrived the next day. I was sitting in my car, shaking as I stared at the email on my phone. Finley wasn't mine. Those words burned straight through my chest. I kept rereading the report, hoping my eyes were wrong, praying it was some bizarre mix-up. But deep down, I already knew the truth. I didn't yell. I didn't smash anything. I simply stood up, walked out of the house, and didn't turn back. Marble shouted after me, calling my name, crying, begging. I didn't answer. The driveway blurred. The car blurred. The roads blurred as I drove aimlessly for hours until the city disappeared behind me like a fading memory. I didn't call my parents. I didn't reach out to any friends. I vanished. I abandoned every piece of the life that had betrayed me. For years, I lived under another name in another city. I rented a tiny apartment above a bakery, the smell of fresh bread becoming one of the few comforts I had left. I worked random jobs, kept my head down, and let no one get close. My heart felt locked away, and I wasn't about to let anyone near the key. I assumed Marble had told people whatever made sense, that I left because I was angry or hated her. Maybe that was easier than the truth. I didn't care. I didn't want to be found. Not by her, and not by anyone tied to that old life. Then one rainy Thursday afternoon, everything shifted again. I was walking home from a nearby cafe, carrying a pastry Finley used to love, though now it was meant for a kid in my neighborhood, when I sensed someone behind me. I turned, expecting a stranger, maybe someone needing directions. Instead, it was Marble. She looked older, worn down, but was a hesitation in her eyes, the tiny pause before she spoke. That punched me in the chest. "Logan," she whispered. Her voice trembled just like it used to when she was on the verge of crying. I didn't respond. I didn't step closer. A part of me wanted to run again. But another part, the part I'd buried for years, needed to hear what she had to say. I need to explain," she said, inching forward. "It's been years, and I know I don't deserve anything. But Finley, he wants to meet you. He asks about you every day. Finley, my son. Or, no, not my son," I reminded myself harshly. But the love I tried so hard to suffocate was still there, raw and aching. I don't know what to say. I managed, my voice uneven. She nodded, tears gathering in her eyes. "I know. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not expecting you to want a place in our lives. But he's special, Logan. He loves you. You're his hero, whether you realize it or not." I swallowed hard. Years of pain, betrayal, and resentment surged all at once. I wanted to yell, to tell her she ruined everything and that I'd rebuilt my life without her. But another part of me, when I thought it died, remembered the warmth of Finley's small hands, his contagious laughter, the quiet moments where I genuinely believed everything was okay. We didn't talk long, just enough for her to tell me she confronted the past, that she'd grown, that she regretted the lies and the damage. She didn't ask to fix things, and I didn't offer reconciliation. We parted on the sidewalk like strangers carrying a history too heavy to unpack. But something shifted. Over the next few weeks, I found myself thinking about her, about Finley, about everything I had walked away from. The anger stayed, sharp and bitter, but beneath it was something else, something softer. Curiosity, maybe even a fragile hope I didn't want to admit. So I reached out, carefully, not for marble. For Finley. He deserved to understand who I was, to know the man who had loved him even before the truth surfaced, regardless of biology. Slowly, I started visiting. First short afternoons, then weekends. And Finley, he didn't care about DNA or mistakes or past betrayals. He cared about laughing, bedtime stories, scraped knees, and gentle encouragement. I won't pretend it's been easy. The past is still there, and it always will be. But there's a different kind of peace in choosing to show up instead of disappearing again, in building something honest instead of pretending. Finley calls me Dad now. It still feels strange sometimes, but it also feels right. I never imagined I'd recover from betrayal, the collapse of everything I knew, the years of loneliness. But somehow I did, and in that unexpected rebuilding, I found a new life, one made of honesty, cautious love, and the fragile but real joy of connection. Some nights, when the house is quiet and Finley is asleep, I think back to the moment my world fell apart, and I realize something. Pain can break us, shape us, even hollow us out, but it also reveals who we truly are. I lost a life once, but in the ruins, I found myself. And in finding myself, I discovered a love that isn't perfect or easy, but real, grounded, ours. And for me, that's enough.